just have them be like machine gun blasting, you know, extra procs of heavy cannonballs and craziness. We changed heavy cannonball a little.
And he completely had me at machine gun heavy cannonballs. What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here. Welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders 2 and some update news. As most of you know, the dev stream was this afternoon for some, and we got some really good info in it. So first things first, I want to talk about relics. Now relics, of course, are our medallions, our totems, and our rings, and they are going to be changing pretty substantially in how they work here in the next update. Now each defense that you place is going to have its own relic slot that you will be able to socket into that defense. This is going to allow us to greater customize an individual character where they're going to have the relics that we want in the cannonball tower position, in the wall position, whatever the case may be. Each individual defense is going to have its own slot for socketing in a relic. Now, one thing we do know, the relics that we currently have are going to be getting re-rolled into the new relics, and from the information we have so far, it looks like medallions are going to be primarily defense power, totems will be primarily defense health, rings are going to go to defense range as its primary, and there's going to be a new relic which is going to be some sort of orb that is going to have defense speed as its primary. Now, of course, all of these relics do have a secondary stat, so it'll allow us quite a few options on dialing in each individual tower. Let's take a look at relics and how they work.
And the simplest simplification was going to be, you are what you wear. So heroes, when they equip armor, armor is going to make them bulkier, sturdier, deal more damage. Weapons are going to make them hit harder. And I thought, what do we do about towers? And obviously the relics that we had before was one relic. You equipped only one relic, and it affected kind of everything. And I kind of switched that around. Now the idea is you can put a relic on basically each and every single tower. Mm-hmm. And that's basically, the stats on that relic will affect that specific tower. So you can see Eric here picking up a medallion, and he ploops it down on the oil geyser. And now those stats are affecting the oil geyser only. And then you can move things around. Obviously you want high health stuff for your blockades. You want attack damage stuff for your damage dealing towers. And then based on that, we're able to add more stats, right? We added...
what would those be?
Well, we added defense range. I think you can see that there, and defense speed. Defense speed for people who have been playing DD2 from like ages ago. We had it in, we removed it, and now we're adding it back in. And there will be relics. There are new relics. I'm pretty sure we can talk about this, but there will be new relics. They're kind of spheres or orbs, I think we're calling them, that have a primary stat in defense speed.
We're still in the process of naming.
Now, in addition to the awesome changes with relics, passives as we know it are completely changing. Passives are going to now turn into shards that you can socket in to each individual piece of equipment. Each hero gear piece, being a weapon or armor piece, will have 2 shard slots, and each relic will have 3 shard slots. So you'll be able to get 3 different passives on each defense, and 2 different offensive passives on each piece of gear. Here's a quick look at the UI and how that'll work.
Basically the same idea, we simplified again. We divorced the idea of gear and passives. Now there's shards and there's gear. Gear spawns with slots. There's a green slot that designates this is a slot that a defense-oriented shard can go in, and there's a blue slot that basically tells you a hero-oriented shard can go in. And basically all the passives are now converted to shards. It's a long process, taking I think 250, almost 300 passives and converting them to shards. That's what's
want to talk about it.
That's what's taking the longest time. Oh my god! But yeah, that's what it's taking. That's why working through breaks and working through vacations and late nights trying to get this all done. But you see kind of Eric hovering over them, and the idea is you can then take those shards and upgrade them, and that's what Eric's showing you now.
And you can still upgrade the gear, right?
Absolutely, you can still item enhance the gear. That doesn't change. We'll talk about that, how we simplify it in a bit. But you can see from this screen the shards. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to shake that. But but the shards, you can spend gold to kind of empower them, or you can spend DMs if you chose to. Very similar to how item enhancement was before. And as you empower it, it becomes stronger and stronger. Obviously, you want to max these out, and the higher it goes, the more it's going to cost.
And just quick reminder, this is all, obviously the stuff we're showing on stream is still very much work in progress. It's very much a developer build.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that's still broken and being implemented right now. So it's there's a lot of polish pass that has to still go in.
And numbers, balance, the economy, things like that, that's all. And you can see here, Eric is kind of showing you what it would look like to equip a relic. He clicked his boots, it has 2 blue slots. He clicked on the blue slot and it told him these are the things that can go there, what would you want to put? And then suddenly this looks familiar now. This looks like a piece of gear that had a passive on it, because basically shards are passive.
Now, one of the really cool aspects of shards now is we're going to be able to mix and match some of those shards that were previously not available to get those same passives on one piece.
But the really cool part about shards is a lot of things were kind of locked to heroes before. We had the majority of passives hero specific. We kind of took that and kind of tried to make as many shards general. So like, if you remember the Betsy weapon that the Huntress had, she shoots a target in the air that spawns a bomb. That can be equipped by anyone now.
That I've enjoyed, at least from my playing with shards, has been, you're able to take now, you can take like 2 unique legendary weapon passives and like throw them on the same weapon. And so before, you'd just be stuck with whatever the one unique role you had. Now you can combine them in fun ways.
Yep.
Now, another really cool aspect about the shard changes is we will no longer be hunting for the perfect roll passive, as shards are going to be not only upgradable, but you'll be able to pull a shard out from one piece and put it into the other. Not with every case, but with most cases.
Another cool thing to keep in mind is that shards, when you first get them, are not powerful at all. You're going to have to invest in them. And the cooler thing, and we'll talk about some cooler things in the future as to why this matters more, but before in DD2, when you had like an iPower 600 piece of gear and an iPower 700, you're going to have to find those passives again. With shards, you can just remove the shard. You can pay either, I believe, DMs or gems to kind of remove it, and then you can put it on that super upgraded thing that you invested your time and money in. You can just move it onto your new piece of gear. So you build that equity of resources that you are just now maintaining and holding on to. And you see the unequip button, you can just remove a shard from your gear.
Now, another just huge change to the game is going to be ascension levels. So we now have a way to keep progressing after we hit level 50. And how ascension levels are going to work: as you level up your ascension, you're going to be able to unlock various abilities which you'll be able to put into each individual hero. Some abilities will be defensive related, and some abilities will be hero and hero power related.
Up, you gain a point, and you can put the points into basically one of 3 trees, and each tree will empower something about your defenses. We have like an offense, a defense tree, and a utility tree. And what we're trying to do, talents we're going to keep experimenting with, but what we're trying to do is maintain that goal of one hero kind of can do a bunch of things, rather than, I'm putting everything into this single tower's single stat. We want you to still be able to do multiple things if you wanted to, or go ham on customization if you so choose. And yeah, obviously you can reset those points, spend them somewhere else, and things like that.
Now, in addition to Ascension, with the skill spheres themselves being taken out of the game, a lot of people have asked about Ubers. And although there is going to be some changes to hero classes, Ubers themselves will still, for the most part, be available in the game. The Monk is going to get some drastic changes, and the Apprentice is getting some changes as well. Both of those Ubers, the Lightning Strikes aura and the Flamethrower, are going to become the regular vanilla ability, which is awesome.
We made also some
Slight class changes
for like Monk and Apprentice, right?
Yep.
So the Monk now has a Flame aura instead of the Lightning aura. It does the same thing the Lightning aura did before, except it's flame damage, and obviously the mesh looks different. And now the Lightning Strikes aura is part of the core kit. The Apprentice, it's a minor change, not as significant as the Monk was, but the Apprentice, he no longer has the Flame Burst tower. He now, by default, has the Flamethrower tower.
Now, with passives being permanently removed from our items, there's the question of how we're going to be compensated for those perfect pieces with the passives we have right now, and that answer is not quite available yet.
The passives obviously get removed for shards. We're still kind of going over compensation stuff and transition. Honestly, there's kind of some like economy balancing stuff that we're still working on. So then we'll update you guys when we get a little closer to knowing the exact details on that.
Now, of course, the most popular question that every single one of us wants to know is when? When's it coming?
So, yeah, we can't say exactly when the update's coming out just yet. There's still kind of a bit of iteration and obviously a ton of bug fixing and just like a bunch of polish that needs to go into it.
Now, another top question I get asked all the time is, what should we do right now? I hit on this on the last couple of videos, and I'll touch on this one again. The best thing you can do is farm gold, get to the Defender Metal Cap, and have a nice assortment of gear in your bags. Stuff that you're not even using. You want to maximize item power because the item power is going to stay, but the passives are going to be leaving. So even a high item power piece that you have right now that has the wrong passives is still an awesome piece to have. Now, in addition to that, make sure you're collecting plenty of those relics, as we don't know how that conversion is going to take place yet, but it sure wouldn't hurt you any to have a bag full of relics.
So another question is, how should I prepare for the update? So honestly,
Get gold.
get gold.
Get gold.
You can get spheres. We're going to convert them to gold if you want. That's kind of a choice.
Cap your currencies.
Cap all the currencies.
Obviously you can't-
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
You
Like,
can't cap gold, I don't think, but
You can try.
Definitely, you can cap your DMs. Get as much gold as you can, because like you saw, gold upgrades, all these things are going to happen. You might want to gather just a bunch of gear, because they're all going to get re-rolled, so you'll have a bunch of like tower gear.
Well, not all of it's going to get re-rolled.
Yeah, but like
Just
you can get tower armor.
the pieces that are new things.
They'll
Yeah.
get converted. You can get relics, and then those will be converted as well.
Yep.
Another thing we all ask ourselves is exactly when is that PDT going to get fixed? Got some massive balance changes underway for certain.
You're going to be changing the balance of any defenses in this update, and will PDTs still be king? So this is my favorite question. Because something I did this morning is I went on in, I went beep, boop, boop, beep, right to like, was Toxic Shock, is that the name of it? And I went lower numbers, and I personally lowered the numbers on that.
Right click, lower.
And
numbers.
I just hit the lower number button and just went, nope. But it was just very satisfying. Very satisfying to go, no mas, no. So PDT got kicked in the face a little bit by yours truly. So if you're sad about it, you know who to blame. It's me. I did it. I will accept all your tears.
Now, if you're a big fan of the PDT and that statement upset you, never fear, because you've always got this to hold against Elandrian.
I'm a lady whore. I'm coming to smack your walls.
Now, another change, but more of a quality of life change, is there's no longer going to be the need to run on over to the Enchantress wheel. The Enchantress is stepping down.
The gnome lady, she's pretty old.
She's taking a hike.
She's retiring. She's gonna sit in the tavern, drink some beers, relax. Root beers, I guess, is the thing that people drink in DD2.
Yeah.
And the future of the upgrade wheel, like you saw, how we were upgrading charts directly from the inventory, you can upgrade gear directly from your inventory.
And then, of course, we all want to know what's going to happen to those map-specific weapons that we farmed so hard.
What's happening with weapons and gear that have unique, guaranteed/unique passives? Things like Frosty Power, Purge Evil Weapons, and Storm Set Armor.
Most of these are now shards. Frosty Power is a shard. Purge Evil Weapon
It's a shard.
is a shard. Pretty sure it's a shard. Storm Set, still shards.
They're all shards.
Riot weapons have the shards in them, but they're locked. They cannot be removed, but they can be upgraded.
Now, another change coming to the game with the Enchantress leaving is upgrade boosters. Upgrade boosters are no longer going to be a thing. Now, I personally used to use this as a tool to lower my defender medals if I was getting close to the cap. You want to blow through all of your upgrade boosters. Just get rid of them.
I'll have to get back to you.
Spend all your item boosters.
Spend all your item boosters.
Spend all of them. Get rid of them. They will not be a thing
Oh, that's
as of this patch.
Now, one of my very top questions personally was regarding Ascension level. How does Ascension level work? Is it going to be per hero? Is it going to be account-wide? Well, Ascension level will be account-wide, and say you have one Ascension point unlocked, you can spend that 1 point on each one of your heroes.
So Ascension questions. Will Ascension be account-wide or per hero? If you have, say, one Ascension point to spend, do you have one per hero to spend, or is it one total per account that you need to select which hero to spend it on?
The level becomes account-wide. and the points you earn can be spent on each hero in the deck. So let's say you gained 1 Ascension point. Each hero in your deck can spend 1 Ascension.
Well, I hope this video helped everyone out, just to give them a quick recap and summary of the new information we have in, with some highlights from the dev stream. So as we gather more information, I'll definitely be posting it up to the channel, so without a question, stay tuned. And thank you for watching. Click that like button. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, because there will be indeed much more DD2 content incoming soon. So thanks again, everyone. We'll see ya.